Capuchin is a Gorilla Tag fan game, and this fan game has more lore than regular Gorilla Tag. And today I'm going to dive deeply into this lore, and what I found out is crazy. Now, in order to know this lore, we have to go back to Capuchin V1, and we're gonna have to do a recap. And there's something crazy I found that I didn't even know until now, which completely changed the lore. So, starting off, from the room that we opened to get to level 2, we know that Dave is a dying active entity and broke out of a cage that we see now, which has the videotape in it. We also knew that Dave has grown a lot since breaking out of the cage, because prior he was pretty small. Which means before breaking out, he was tested on somehow and then broke out after being enlarged. Now, we actually will figure out how he was enlarged in just a little bit. But next, we have to explain what happened to the triplets in level 3, which we also believe were enlarged from some state because they have the mini monkeys following them around. And it is clear that these were also lab experiments, as they broke out of a cage similar to the one that Dave was in. Now, how is it possible that they were able to do this? Well, these monkeys are obviously intelligent monkeys, right? We can tell that they can talk from video recordings, and they also have IDs and seem to be similar to humans, which we know from Michael Williams, whose keycard we used to get into the room with the VHS. Now, we can tell that they were smart anyways, because there's zero gravity and so much more. But here's where we get to the interesting part. How did they increase the size of these monkeys, right? Because obviously they didn't do it to themselves. Well, they might have did it to Dave the cashier, but besides Dave the cashier, how did they do it? Well, actually, I'm sorry. I said Dave the cashier. I'm not sure if that is his actual name. Anyways, this VHS explains exactly how they did it, and this would have been in level 2.
Hey, if you're hearing this, you're hearing the one and only voice of Michael Williams. I'm just messing around. I'm just an admin for Capuchin Labs. Anyway, Mr. Ryan Johnson, the owner of Capuchin Labs, has requested that I make this training tape for the Sizomatic. The was it's used is...
Now, as you can tell, they obviously just talked about the Sizomatic, which is how they are increasing the size of these monkeys. But they also mentioned 2 and showed a third very important thing. Things. So the first is that this guy is obviously not Michael Williams, and to pretend to be Michael Williams and say the one and only means that Michael Williams is important in some way. But what makes this odd is that he is only considered an admin on the ID card. So why would he be so important that you pretend to be the one and only Michael Williams? And we know he is not the owner, because that is Ryan Johnson, who is also said in that tape. Now, why I believe they're joking around to be Michael Williams is because I believe that Michael Williams is dead. Now, I don't know if the horror, which you're seeing on screen from my old gameplay, is tied in, but what we do know is that somebody previously died, and a lot of people believe that to be Michael Williams. So why I think they made that joke VHS tape, or he made that joke, is because Michael Williams is dead, so he's kind of like a rumor, or whatever they're called, like folktale, really, of the labs. So any footage of him would be interesting. At least that's my guess. And this is assuming that we're not Michael Williams, which, I mean, I believe is pretty accurate, but you never know, because we do grab the ID card. But I think that was left behind from Michael when he died. Now, why I believe that Michael is dead, and that's why they're making fun of him, is, well, not only because of that, but because of a very other important thing we see at the very end. Enhance on this final frame. Freeze frame it. Who is that? If you don't know who that is Venari, the Capuchin ghost. Now, this ghost has to tie into the lore, and I didn't know that until now. And if you are curious on how I know that's Venari, is because Venari came out, I think, a little bit before this VHS. And Venari, they had a profile or picture for it, and it was that exact monkey, which is why he cut it off. And I think Venari cut off the VHS because he was being talked about. So I believe Venari is just the ghost name for Michael. I believe that Michael is Venari. Now, before we jump into the huge pipeline of Venari, let me explain a couple more things, such as what happened to the monkeys, assuming we are not the monkeys ourselves. I believe they hid away in level 3, which is a little supply place with boxes before it it was discontinued. We got leaks of it, and it was like, I can't think of the word, but like a supply room kind of, where there was a bunch of boxes, probably with food, where they could live, which is why there's a metal door. And I believe they were hiding from Dave and the 3 triplets, as well as the 3 triplets on the ground, which are either the children of the 3 triplets, which I doubt. I think they are just scaled down versions, which is why the Size-O-Matic is so important. Now that we've gotten out of just like the regular stuff, let's deep dive into Venari. So, starting off, we're gonna have to tie Venari into the new Capuchin remake, because majority of Venari's important moments have came from the Capuchin remake. So, how V1 and V2, as well as like V3 or whatever you want to call the newest version, are all linked is because, well, one, it's the same tree, it's the same place, really. Except some stuff is moved around, you know. Zero gravity's in a different place. But that's either because, obviously, you know, they just wanted to make it look different, or because over time, us monkeys changed it, which I doubt. But I imagine it's just because they want to make the game look better. I doubt it's any lore reasons. But if it is lore, then it is most likely just the monkeys changed it. We know it is the same, at least. Or we're in the same place because the triplets still exist. Level 2 still exists. The labs are still there. And Dave is still there. So, now that we've done the important thing of tying these together, we could finally get into the biggest plot point that I found out so far, because I haven't seen any other video talk about this, and it was just insane when I figured this out. So, Venari's first sighting within the game itself was in a vent, in the moderator vents, which yet again shows that this character has some sort of special ability, like some sort of high-ranking individual within Capuchin, as it was able to get into the mod vent. It also seems to have a high anger towards us as a character. In original Capuchin, it was in a regular form as a regular Capuchin monkey, right? But just a ghost, kind of appearing and disappearing. But as the days have gone by, as the remakes have gone by, it seems to get angrier and angrier. Powering up from a basic, you know, Capuchin that was just ghostly and could get into stuff, to a Capuchin with lightning, red eyes, and furious at us, the player, banning and kicking us anytime it would see a player. So that means this ghost is more dangerous than literally all of the entities and everything, because this ghost is specifically hunting us, which is why another code it's in is hunt, because this ghost is always hunting down the player. But the question is, why? What did our player do? Now, assuming we aren't a individual that the ghost would know, assuming we aren't a high-ranking member of even like Capuchin, you know, like we're not a laboratory admin or whatever. I believe he's hunting us down because we are going into his territory. So his mines, you know, like Dave hunts us down. So you would call them Dave's mines, but realistically they're Venari's, because that's where he worked. And he worked in the lab. So we as Capuchins are being hunted down for entering his territory, or we're simply getting hunted down for existing, I guess. You know, he just has hatred against humanity. But the places where he is spotted are Stump, Shop, and Horror level 0, or whatever you want to call it, in the remake. So, even though he's hunting us, another thing or possibility could be that he's hunting us to try to stop us. You know, even though he's getting angrier, maybe he's not trying to hurt us, but make himself scarier to keep us away from what is ever happening in these labs. Maybe he doesn't want us to have the same fate. You know, either or is really possible that he's hunting us, but I'm not gonna lie, scaring us away makes a little more sense, I guess, and I didn't really think about that till literally just now. So, if he is trying to scare us away, that does make sense, because Shop, you know, obviously you're gonna go there to buy stuff, and then Stump, you obviously spawn, and then Horror level 0 is right before you get to enter actual horror. So maybe he's just trying to stop us at all costs from happening what happened to him. You know, maybe he doesn't want us to have the same fate. That, or he genuinely does just have an absurd hatred towards us. Although him kicking seems to signify that he just doesn't want us to get into the game and have whatever happen. Although that's all I have right now. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas. That's about where I've stopped with the lore. If there's anything I missed or any more lore information you guys know that I just forgot about or don't know about, let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.